It's our affair part show.
Sorry, you probably might have heard that during the intro.
No, we're really sorry about that. And like we do like to keep things loose and sort of fun. It's not really like the radio show on the Off-Air podcast. But there is a certain standard that we all have to hold ourselves to, a bit of decorum, and just, sort of not dropping your phone whilst the intro's
sorry.
playing Bell Jackson.
What the happened there, Bill?
Ben!
That was man.
It was.
Stop.
That was all the way up.
Stop. I picked up my phone because there's some business I want to read out from it, and it slipped out of my fingers and onto the desk.
Was it show business?
Yes.
Show me. Show me the business.
Quickly, hold it up.
Show me that business.
Well, my friend has sent me a photo because it turns out one of my ex-boyfriends has a child now.
Okay,
So
that is
I
not
was
show
just
business.
looking at
That is
that.
personal business. Congratulations to them, but personal.
But no, I'm getting up the Alpha Squad.
Oh, I'm so fucking mad right now.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm up here.
All right, I'm gonna play the intro. I'm gonna play the intro, and everyone's gonna be real quiet, okay?
Real
Yeah.
fucking quiet.
It's our affair part show. It's our affair part show. It's our affair part show. It's our affair part show.
See how easy that
It
was?
was just very simple. No one was throwing their phone around in a
Looking at babies.
ungodly manner. Hello, I'm Liam. This is the Off-Air podcast. Sorry about that unprofessionalism before. I do have a bit of a tidbit. New whip, new car owner.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, bought a new car. It's good. Yep, second-hand car. About 5 years old. Loving it though. First time with Apple CarPlay.
Nice. It's a game
Game
changer.
changer.
It's the only thing in cars, in my opinion anyway, that I can think of on the spot. It's the only thing in the last 20 years that's made a difference in cars. Like, if you got in a car 20 years ago compared to now, besides Apple CarPlay, they're very similar.
I'm very new to it. All the bells and whistles. Like, it feels like I'm in a spaceship because I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I've just been running off my phone and like plugging it in, sort of thing. And so like Newbin actually texted me about a show thing earlier today, and it was like reply, and I was like yes. And then I started calling him, and I was like, no, I didn't want to call him because
Bad ship.
Yeah, I know. I was just pulling up to the gym, so I don't know if you got that, but it was a ghost call. But this is the thing; it's got so many bells and whistles. It's got the thing, I've never had that feature before, but it kind of keeps you in the lines a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Which I don't-
lane assist.
I don't really like it. I don't really
that,
like it, so I
nah.
turned that off. And it's got all this stuff, and it's got the camera for the reverse camera is like literally like looking at a TV. It's like crystal clear, rather than mine was like on a Motorola flip like Razor.
Yeah.
Dude, some of us don't have screens at the back, so
Oh yeah, true.
I
But
just vibe it out.
yeah, but it has that thing where it's like I think it's got a mode where you can like it parks in for you. And I pride myself on a good reverse parallel, so I don't think I'll use that. But the only thing it doesn't have, didn't realize when I went for the test drive, is the auto hold, which is my favorite feature on any car made in the last decade, where if you're at the traffic lights, it just automatically puts the handbrake on, so then you don't have to have your foot on the brake.
And then when you go accelerate it,
It just releases.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's
Not the engine stop one.
no, not the engine stop. I think that's overkill.
Yeah.
But I like just being able to do what I want to do with my feet.
That's
Yeah.
scary.
I can clip a toenail if I.
What? So you can take your foot off.
In my
and it-
old car, you could, but in my new car, you can't. And I'm like, what was the point in upgrading? And they got rid. That was like my favorite feature. That's just made
Yeah.
so much sense to me.
I've got that in the Tucson, but I disabled that because I didn't like it.
You like you don't like the car doing things out of your control.
Exactly.
It
You
shouldn't be a
want it to know
computer.
that you're the boss.
Yeah. I also just don't know if I necessarily when I'm driving, if you're at the lights and it's red, it feels natural to have your foot on the brake.
Not for me anymore, because I, for the last 5 years, have been in my old car,
Yeah.
and it just had that thing, and I was like, oh, amazing, and I far preferred it.
Well, you better remember to keep your foot on the brake.
I
and
know,
not start
I'm rolling all over the shop.
Because it's a Volkswagen, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I saw a news story a few weeks ago. So just talking about like the new things in cars, they came out and said, hey, we're actually going to take a step back in our cars now. They are no longer doing touch buttons. They are doing actual buttons because they said that people I can't remember exactly, but the makers came out and said, you know what, we're going to go back a step and we're going to make actual old school buttons
Really?
again in cars because cars should be cars and they shouldn't be computers.
Man, I only
and
just
they're
got the
gonna-
touch screen,
Yeah,
and now I look like an
they're
idiot
going
because I
backwards.
got the
But
touch screen.
and all the comments I remember all the comments people being like, yes, like cars should be, you press the button if you want something. It shouldn't be like a touch screen.
The thing that I don't like, and I still don't really like it, is so my car is 2022, so fairly new. And I really didn't like it when I got in there, and I still don't, is in newer cars, they've gotten rid of, even with automatics, there's still a stick, right? Like a gear shift stick. Like you put it into auto, put it in park.
Yeah.
They just get rid of that altogether. And so now I press a button to drive, and I press a button to neutral,
What?
and I press a button
Actual?
to put it in park,
I
and
didn't
I press
notice
a
that
button
anyway.
for the handbrake. And
What?
I still don't like it.
No, that's too modern. I have what scares me, and this shows how far behind I am. I'm sure you both have or yours might be a button, Ben, but the handbrake is like a switch. Like you pull up or push down the little button for that.
Yep.
I have the stick. I have the rip the stick up
Yeah.
for the hand. I
Yeah.
love that. You just park it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Up-
and
up
also
it
good
goes.
if you see some gravel or whatever and you just want to kick it out a little bit around the side.
Well,
I
congratulations.
saw. Thank you. Yeah, no. Also, selling a car if anyone wants one. Radio's not really working, but
How
who needs it? You would buy a new car?
if it's got a camera on the back, sounds pretty cool.
No, you wouldn't. You like
Nah,
little sporty.
I'm
sort of-
happy in my car. It does
Yeah.
the job. I
This is
plug
the
oxy in
third
and yeah.
car I've bought, which is not bad for like 12, 13 years of driving.
Yeah.
It's pretty modest, I'd say.
Do you want to plug it, or you don't want to plug it? The car.
The out-on car sales?
Yeah.
No, my security team would consider it.
To be fair, I mean, you can cut this out if you want, but you'd be able to find it, right? Because they know, in previous pods, you've said the car, you've said the year model. So if you know it's on car sales, you'd be able to find that pretty quick.
Sure, come find me at your own discretion, because I have, I got a team that I've talked about in the past as well. Very highly trained, instant reaction as soon as someone gets near the premises to kill, and it's not legal, but I just feel safer because of it.
Yeah.
These guys are like ex-military sort of, so they're just they got skills.
All right.
Ben.
Present, a little bit stirred up from the start of the podcast. Of course, Belle dropping her phone.
Of course, yeah, no, it kind of threw the whole thing off kilter, I thought.
Really did.
And now that's why it's taken 7.5 minutes to get to your name in the roll
Oh,
call.
that's right.
I got a quick tidbit. I spent my whole weekend just because I told you, I think it was an off-air chat, but I told you Sam was running Freddie a bath, and she was making him dinner at the same time. Forgot the bath was running, and a bit of the water did run out. So I spent my weekend. I went to Kennard's Hire, makes the job easy. That's their jingle. And I hired originally I hired a wet vac, and I hired an industrial dehumidifier.
Okay.
Grab a wet vac and an industrial humidifier for this wet ass.
Oh,
Got pictures on his phone of this wet ass.
rug.
I got home, turns out I'd hired the wrong vacuum because I got a wet vac, which is more just for vacuuming up actual water. I wanted a wet and dry vac, which is one that you'd use to clean your carpet.
Did
But you
they
need to
did
suck
they
up the water.
exchange? Were they kind
They
to
were
exchange?
very good about it, to be honest. I called them. The one I got it from didn't have what I needed in stock, but they said there's another one, pretty close to your place. They do have one in stock. They said you can return the one you don't want to them, even though I got it from the other place, and pick up the one they got. And then they said, when you're done, you bring it all back. And there was no extra charge. It actually turned out to be cheaper.
Feel like someone has said the name of the brand, their glowing reviews, and also said the tagline. Did you get a bit of a deal?
Do you think that when I handed it over, I said, hey, if you knock off $20 off the price,
He's like, oh, it's so good.
I'll sing your jingle. And they go, yeah, mate.
makes your job easy. To be fair, it is stuck in my head now.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the good old, how you'd be shopping in like the 90s or the early 2000s with your mum and dad or whatever, and you'd go through the checkout, and then
Just Mum and Belle's case.
go.
Depends if it's every second weekend.
Yeah, of course.
That was
Keep going,
That
Ian.
was shit, man. Shots fired. Clarendon Street. All units. No, you would, whether it be mum, dad, both, if it was, happy marriage, whatever, you would go through the checkout and, there was that, it was like in a big cage that would have that carpet vacuum. Do you know what I'm talking about? You could hire it. Like,
Yeah.
you know how, this would be the section it would be in. There would be like a community notice board.
Yeah.
There would probably
Yeah.
be a guide dog, like a dog where you could put coins in its
The
head.
well where you put the coin down
Yeah,
the well.
there would be a well.
They would
And-
sometimes they'd sell plants on that wall.
And
Yeah.
normally, they certainly did at Woolworths Golden Grove Village, they would have like a cage.
Yeah.
And in it would be like a special vacuum that you
Yeah,
could
so-
hire for your house. And I think that could be a wet
I'm
dry
pretty
vac.
sure that's a wet dry vac. So what it does is different types of them. I've had it from Bunnings before, but the one I had was Rug Doctor, and it's like a chode of a vacuum, and you fill it up with water, and that's if you want to use the spray feature, so you can deodorize your carpet. But then the vacuum head runs alongside it, and so it
Wow.
sprays with water and then sucks it straight up.
Nice.
I feel like
I
that's
wonder
in
if
them
anyone's
infomercials.
ever like burst into the front office with like chest pain, like, oh God, help me.
Yeah.
I think I'm having a heart attack. And they're like, sir, this is the Rug Doctor.
Oh my god.
He just collapses like, well, there's nothing we can do. They just roll him up in one of their rugs, put him in a boot.
Even though you said it was an ad, I would say Kennards is more expensive than Bunnings, but I appreciated the extra service I got.
Yeah, okay.
So, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yep.
Belle.
Hello, present. I just got a bit of biz from our Facebook group, the Pod Squad, formerly known as the Alpha Squad.
Has it changed yet?
Yet to be officially changed,
Okay.
but we're just waiting on
Gotta change
some graphic design work.
I see.
Yep.
So Nathan Jander, Statman, has posted today. He has said, "I'm back with more Team Member of the Week stats." Did we want to go
Oh,
through
bloody
them
oath.
quickly?
Yeah.
Just firstly, he has said, "I don't know who Zach voted for last week? Question mark. Promise? Question mark. Question
Yeah,
mark.
Promise he
That is a person.
works. Yeah, his name's Promise. He works at Nova.
Yes,
Has
and we
done for a
probably
long
should have
time.
contexted that.
I can give you a little intro if you'd like for this.
Okay.
Stats.
It'll probably be.
Everyone.
Well, actually, no, Ben.
Oh.
He has said that the quote, "It'll probably be Ben," is actually very accurate for 2025 so far, with either OG Ben or new Ben winning 4 out of the 8 votes this year, and
Statistical.
Scudder with 2 as well.
Yeah.
Last year we had 13 no votes cast. This year we have 6 in just the 8 weeks. Scudder having the highest absenteeism with 4 this year and 8 last year. Belle really loves Liam in 2025, having given him 5 of her 6 votes so far.
And you almost gave me one
Whoa.
last week, too.
I almost did.
So hang on,
Ew,
you-
does that mean that would be every week? Ew.
It would
I need
be.
to stop that.
You voted me every week.
No.
5 out of the last 6. Well, we've done more than 6 weeks of shows this year, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've done 8. Oh, well. And then Jack
Hang on,
has
is there
also
a hole
given
in the
Scudder.
stats? Imagine if this is
Unless-
where I worked out that Janda just makes it up.
I wouldn't be surprised if we missed
Yeah,
a couple of
it's 6
team
weeks.
members. We might have missed a team member or two.
Yeah, no. How dare I? Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Oh,
Janda
also,
never
I
puts
was
a foot
off
wrong.
that Friday. Remember? At the dinner.
Classically off. Yeah, that's true. I suppose 6 Fridays in the last 2 years that you've worked, that sort of checks out, actually. No, I'm
And,
sorry. You have voted for me many times. I appreciate it.
Another dry spell for Liam could be on the cards.
Shit.
He's not won since 11th of October and is currently on the longest streak. out
Despite
of the
Bell's
immediate
best efforts.
Yes, I try and save
Fine,
you.
fine.
But the first point he actually made was he said, "I'm going to start issuing strikes moving forward for sloppiness." On the 28th of Feb, there was an incorrect rock-off between Belle and New Ben. Luckily, Belle won this, as she was actually already the outright winner with the voting that week, 2 votes to 1.
No, but remember a while ago we changed the legislation. We said we're just going to vibe out the tally. There was no
which I
official
think was
tally.
like, in what world was that ever going to be accurate?
Well, you can keep tally if you want to keep tally.
I think we should go back.
But the
to
thing was,
tally.
no one wanted to keep tally, so we said we're just going to vibe from now on.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. As of 10 minutes ago, admin has changed the name of the group to the Pod Squad.
We should get Newman in soon as well for a. You can come in whenever you want, man. Yeah, yeah.
Do you
Yep.
want a
But-
picture?
Is
Selfie
there,
update? No,
yeah,
that's
is
it,
there
that's
more?
it.
Oh, you got all the
That's
stats.
it.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
New Ben is here.
So
and
just for context, we've changed it now from Alpha Squad to Pod Squad. We feel like it just does on what it says on the tin a bit better.
yeah,
And we said we're going to change the image that you see when you play the podcast because it's very outdated. And the idea was everyone who listens to this podcast can take a selfie if they want, and they can email blb@novaentertainment.com.au. When we have 100 selfies, we will update the image. In the meantime, there'll be an interim image used.
Yes, which I think we've gotten back already, and
Yep.
that should
Yep.
be.
It's all done.
That's cool. Awesome.
Nice.
What was the count of selfies on Friday? Were we up to like it was like
think
mid-teens?
It was
I think?
7, and then it went into the teens.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Do you want it now? You
Yeah,
want it
yeah,
now?
yeah.
It's good, guys. It's really good.
Is it?
Yep. Is there a drum roll? I don't have headphones.
yeah, I
no,
can
it
get
doesn't
you
need
one. No.
You're all looking at me as if there was one, and I'm like,
Here we
go.
go. There's a drum roll happening.
28.
Whoa!
That's over a quarter of the way. So that's good. 28 people have submitted selfies. And remember, if you're like, I should do it right now, I'm thinking about it, I'm listening to the pod, but I haven't done my makeup or my hair or whatever. Don't stress, because remember, there's going to be 100 tiny photos. So it'll be very small. You will be in it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be very small. So no one's going to be like, oh, that girl's fringe is weird or whatever.
What if we don't make 100? Then what?
We have to make 100 or we won't do it.
We just don't do it.
No.
Of course
We
not.
just bail.
No, we just wait till we get 100.
Yeah, it could take years. It could take. I mean, if everyone switched on this week, it could be done.
Yeah.
I
Could be
agree.
done. It could be done. It could be done.
We will stop talking about it when you send your selfie in.
Do we?
Because
are
right
you
now,
guys-
it really feels like there's only 28 people listening to this thing.
Absolutely. Do we
Which
want
is,
to?
could be a reality.
What about the wider team?
yeah,
we
yeah,
have
we should
photos
probably
of-
all send.
Yeah, but
It-
I don't think
it-
they should count to the total.
100.
Well, then you kind of like 106.
I think we can. Feels like a cop-out if we count them to the total number,
Okay.
And I also reckon I don't...
Well, it's the
I
first
don't-
100. It's the first 100 in.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
photos.
special. I don't feel like worried we've got 28 because I know that there's podcasts I listen to, and if they said send a selfie in via email, I just wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I
So
get that.
I can fully empathise with those who are listening to this, sitting there going, I like the idea, I like what you're doing, but I'm not going to be a
Look,
part of it.
if Andy Lee can get 100 people on Zoom every Thursday at 8:30, I think that's the time the show's on, then surely we could get 100
I
people.
don't think we should compare ourselves to Andy.
Yeah, but think about the turnover of the 100. They got to get a new 100 every week, sometimes twice a week.
Yep.
It's
Twice.
hundreds. How often does the 100 air?
I think it's on at the moment.
Maybe I'm
Yeah.
counting the reruns.
I think they do like 10 episodes like in a run and then they stop.
Still 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So,
I reckon they'd reuse a lot of people.
You
That-
reckon?
uh,
My mate's been
friend,
on it.
Yeah,
my mate
friend
was on
does
it one
a few
time.
times. Yeah.
Oh, we all got
Yeah.
mates on the 100.
Hey,
There you go.
20,
Did your mate
you
get
know
a?
someone?
Did they get a little chat time?
I don't know. She just posts about it every now and then.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fingers crossed we get the 100. Also, I don't know if there's any other business. We were talking about a movie last week, and I decided to re-watch it. I don't know if you know what movie we're talking about.
Star Wars?
Big Nolan
Oh,
one.
Batman.
No. Nolan just cooked though. Nolan really cooked in
Yeah.
the 2000s. So yeah, it's not the Dark Knight trilogy. It's not Prestige.
Oh, how good.
Yeah. It's not Memento.
Not Tenet. Tenet was...
Nah, it's not. I didn't like Tenet.
No, you didn't like
Didn't you?
Tenet.
Thought it was shit. Not Inception. Came out in 2014.
And this came out in between 2000 and 2010.
2014. Yeah.
Oh,
2014.
right.
Yeah.
Was I in this chat?
No,
I
we
don't
were
remember
joking about the meme. We were joking about the meme last week.
I don't remember.
Don't let me go, Murph.
Oh, such a... Interstellar?
Interstellar.
Such a good movie.
Dude,
Oh,
I reckon
so
I
good.
saw it when it came out at the movies and was like, oh, this is pretty good. And I rewatched it last night.
So good.
Dude, it is. I think it's actually one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't.
too.
I didn't realize how
Good it is.
good. Like I
It's
could.
so sad.
I could go back and watch it again tonight. It is so good,
When I watched it, I thought about it for a week.
dude.
I still
it is
think about it.
awesome. It's awesome, and it had been long enough. Yeah, it's been like a decade. So I sort of forgot. I remembered like little bits. You know, sometimes you're watching it and just before something happens, you're like, I think he's a baddie. You get like a
Yeah,
premonition because
yeah.
But like, wow.
Oh,
Dude, when
good.
that bit when they're like spinning, trying to like match the spin of the big ship to get out of there. You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of.
Are you trying to match
So,
the speed to get it to the opposite?
Because Matt Damon tries to like link into the and it explodes,
Yeah.
and then it's like it's spinning off into space, and Anne Hathaway and McConaughey are like they're screaming because well, that's the way home. They're just gonna die. And then she's like, don't waste fuel chasing her. And he's like, it's necessary. And he's like, and he's just like, goes full steam ahead, uses all the fuel to get to this thing. And he's like, they're just like, there's like mad G's because they're like spinning. And they're like, she's like passed out. And he's like, and then it gets to the right amount of spin. And then they like dock. And then Hans Zimmer score, and
beautiful.
it's just
What about
it
when they're on the water planet and time's
Dude.
going like, is it 7 years
Yeah,
every
so
minute or something?
every hour is 7 years,
Yeah.
and then Anne Hathaway's trying to get the box out, and they're like, that's not mountain, they're waves, and then she's like, get back in, and then they cook it because all their like engines get like filled with water, and then they lose like 23 years. But then there's that other dude, that other doctor up on the ship. And so he's waiting for him for 23 years. But he doesn't look that much older. They're like, how long's Williams? I've been waiting for 23 years. And he only has a little bit of grey in his beard. I'm like, they probably could have made him look a bit older. And I also thought, some of the ages are weird. Like when because it's like she's 10 when he leaves and it's been like 23 years. And so I'm just like, okay, so if you do the math, McConaughey at the start of the movie is like 32, but he's clearly like 60.
The thing I like
He's
about
like,
it,
you know what I mean? Like, he's not 60, but he's like in his 50s. Like he doesn't look like a 30-year-old. Like he's an old.
the thing that sticks with me is at the start of the movie, Murph is trying to say there's a ghost in his room. He's very scientific. He's like, there isn't such thing as ghosts.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it all comes together. It was actually him doing it. It's crazy.
You've never
Great
seen it?
Doesn't he float into the abyss? Doesn't he just?
No,
It's like-
he goes into Gargantua, the black
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
And then it's
just...
like, it's like going down the slide, and it's all like,
Yeah.
and then it's like he's like behind the books, like, dude. And then because he you guys don't need to watch now, but he like uses the Morse code on the watch because he like moves time a little bit.
It's unbelievable.
Very
Oh, bloody good, bloody
well,
good.
I finally finished The Substance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Great movie. If you
pretty
haven't seen
cool.
it.
Hey.
Terrible ending.
I think,
hell
I
is
didn't.
that?
I didn't think you'd like the ending, just knowing what you're like. But I think it's not supposed to be like a realistic
I know,
ending.
but like, it was
lives
so.
in a-
It had so much hope to be like a good ending where you either get some answers or it's wholesome or it comes back around or
I think it's more.
Instead, it's just like.
I think it was more showing how like ridiculous the whole thing is. I think it's
Totally.
more
But what's this little thing at
Well,
the
because
end?
she gets so. I don't even know what the word is. She gets so like
demented.
demented that she turns
that-
into that.
Were you
No,
allowed
but-
to say that?
Yeah, you
course
can say
you
that.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she,
demented, yeah.
like, I don't want to ruin the spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Don't listen. But like, the ending where her face.
Monstro Sue.
Yeah. But just the
Hmm.
face bit that comes out
Yeah.
and crawls around.
Yeah.
And then just poofs into nothing.
Well, actually,
Like,
if you
what?
pay attention, it
Goes
puts
over
in
a
over
star.
the star.
Yeah, but still goes into nothing. Like what? Like
Yeah, because the cells decompose.
no, it just goes, and then it's like.
Okay.
And
well,
then what's the spraying of like like there was so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to end it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. It's a
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and actually, Jack made a great point because he was the one that recommended the movie to all of us, and he said, in the end of is it part 2? What do they do?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what do they
Yeah.
call it? In the end of part 2, the movie could end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they do a part 3 to just smack you over the head with the point the
yeah,
movie's trying
that's
to make.
exactly.
It basically
That's his
goes into
words
like
exactly.
80s gore. Like that's what I felt
Yeah.
like I was
It's very
watching.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
It's
and
also
then,
funny how she's got the piece of paper on her like, monstrous body, and people just think
Yeah, I
it's
know.
Yeah.
That's but there's so
but
many
it's
things I'm
silly.
like,
It's kind
silly.
of
and
it's-
then she's on stage for ages, and
Yeah.
then like 10 minutes later, someone's like, "Monster!"
Yeah.
You're like, "What? Where was that 10 minutes ago?"
It jumps the shark on purpose.
Also,
Yeah.
and then I was like, if she wasn't on stage until that point, someone would have. Like, you can't just start the show without her being on Cuba.
Well,
Anyway,
don't
there's a
let
lot
Bell's review put you off it. I do recommend watching it. It's a good movie.
But I-
and if
tonight,
if you're
it
not
means
into
that-
it, go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, it means that tonight I finally get to start Adolescence, so I'm very excited about that.
Oh, very good. You watched that, Ben? What was your review out of 10?
Oh, I cried afterwards.
Dude, same.
Yeah, it was really
So
sad.
Sarah actually cried for like
Really
a
sad.
day
Yeah.
after it.
I'm so excited.
I'm not gonna.
It's-
I'm not gonna watch it.
So yeah, solid 3 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, really? You think it's too sad? You don't
I
like sad
don't
stuff?
want to be sad.
It doesn't make you feel good, but it is probably one of the most real things I've ever seen
Yeah.
in the sense that I'm like, you know how you like Substance is so like jumps the shark? Adolescence is like so.
It just brings you in so much. Like
It's-
the
yeah.
context of it is very sad. Like we all sort of know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But it's the bringing in and how they do it. And you're like, I'm so invested in
Well,
something.
yeah,
It's
I've
just-
watched all
Well,
the behind the scenes, how they filmed it all. I've
Well, that's
watched,
ridiculous.
like
Why would
all
you do
the
that?
true story of what it's based on.
You've
because
seen
I
the whole
need
thing.
because I need to know. Like
I've
you know
seen
how
the
I
ending.
rewatch like I'm rewatching Breaking Bad with
Well,
Christian
apparently,
for like the
so-
third time because I need to know how things end
Amazing.
and I need to know like everything behind the scenes first, and then I can watch it.
Seems like a strange way of doing things.
Yeah.
Boiling Point. That's the other Stephen Graham project with this same director. That's where they did a whole movie in one take, so that's where they got the idea for the series in one take. And it came out a few years ago, and apparently it's really good. But apparently it's also one of those ones that makes you feel sad after. But that's the next thing on my list.
Can I throw one thing in the
Go
ring
for
that
it.
hasn't been mentioned yet? This is what I
Throw it in
watched
the ring.
over the weekend. Didn't finish it. It was a movie. Got halfway through it. There Will Be Blood. Very good movie.
Is that one again?
That's the one where he's the oil tycoon.
I drink it up!
Yeah.
I drink your milkshake!
Because
Mate, how can you go from not remembering what a film is
'Cause-
like fully
Is it new?
I had heard it's 2007 because I'd heard Daniel Day-Lewis. Everyone raves about him and says like he's one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't really seen anything with him in it.
That's Paul Dano as well.
Yeah, yeah, who's super creepy in it.
Yeah, he's creepy in everything.
Everything. He's the creepiest actor ever.
He's just a creepy guy.
He's the Joker in the new Batman, right?
Riddler.
Riddler. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I will admit,
Riddler, actually.
Daniel Day-Lewis, he deserves his reputation. It's such a good movie.
Really?
Such a good movie.
Okay.
It's a slow burn. It's a very slow burn.
Drink it up. I drink your milkshake. That's the best line.
All right, see podcaster, send through those selfies.
And that's it!
Like that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.